Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
And I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And this is
Messy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Messy. This is Jamie.
And Christina.
And we have a very special guest today. She is a New York Times bestselling author, an actor, and one of my favorite follows on Instagram because of her honesty. I just told her she was honest before being honest was cool, in my opinion. She has just fierce passion and conviction for the people and the causes that she cares about. I just admire her, and I'm just really excited to have her on Messy today to just, further those conversations that she's always so willing to have. So please welcome to the podcast, Jenny Mollen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I get to learn everything because I don't follow you on Instagram, but I'm going to now.
You better.
But I'm going.
You'll love it.
Going to right now. Should we stop so I can do it? Yes, I have
Guys,
I have a button.
Give me a second.
I have a button on
Ever since, Jenny used to do this. What originally connected me with Jenny was her dictator lunches. Jenny, will you explain to Christina what dictator lunches
Well, the word dick
are?
is in it, so obviously I'm following in like 5 minutes.
Yes. So I start when my son Sid was first going to preschool. We had to send him with lunch every day, and I got like very into this idea that I'm gonna make him these like movable feasts. I'm gonna like have this dialogue with him when I'm not there, and sort of like be able to have almost like my own corrective childhood experience by like giving him the lunch boxes that I always wanted, where, my mom worked. I didn't really see her during, I don't know, maybe even after school as well. She wasn't around a lot. And I'd be the kid that was always in the lunch line with like, a couple quarters to buy the plate of pasta and maybe a chocolate milk. And I always looked longingly at these kids that had the handwritten notes, the sandwiches with the crust cut off. I'm like, oh God, I wish I had that childhood. So as we do when we have kids, I think like we want to parent the child that we were as much as the child that we have. And so I started this account, Dictator Lunches, just kind of like fucking around, not thinking it was going to be anything, but I just got like so into it. And I think what happened also was like the teachers were getting annoyed, which only ever makes me double down. They were like, you can't send an avocado and expect us to take the pit out. You can't send like, pork bao buns with instructions on how to reheat them. We don't have
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Just give them some fucking noodles, lady. And so like out of that, I'm like, oh no, now I'm going crazy. Like now we're going fondue. And it just got like more and more like extreme.
Oh my God.
And then I would write the story of like what the lunch was like trying to basically say to my son.
You've got so many moms
Are you
just
still
going
doing
like,
this?
I'm a fuck up right now. Like I was just thinking about my lunches, like when I was a kid, paper bag, a fucking tuna fish sandwich. I don't know, that was sitting in a paper bag for 6 hours.
Yeah, no cooler.
I'm
no
sorry.
Ice pack.
Just food poisoning and an uncut
There was
kiwi.
usually,
Like what was
sand
the
in it.
kiwi gonna do? How was I gonna eat the kiwi, Mom? So
Just
I
a hard ass kiwi.
Oh, I eat kiwis like they're
full
apples.
kiwi.
I'm into
You
the skin.
do?
I love it.
with the
Ew, it's
fuzzy
such
bits.
a hairy skin.
I'm like a monster like that. Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. But no, I think that like what, you have to sort of also like realize is that like I'm a disaster in so many ways. Like, first of all, like, I always say like I was like dyslexic, anorexic, and a theater major. So like there's not, I can't like, I'm left-handed. I can't really like cut to save my life.
Yeah,
Like,
but so is Obama. It's okay to be left-handed.
Like
Obama is left-handed.
origami level, we're talking about like just like, I don't know, let's just say stumbling towards whatever it is.
It was it was inspirational. However it turned out, it was also just fun to see you, put it out there. And, you also talked a lot about like not giving your kids like kid food.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Like, I don't believe in a kid's menu. I never have. I'm just like, you're going to eat what we're going to eat. I don't understand like kid food in America, where it's like, I'm going to have a plate of salmon and then I'm just going to like throw some like yogurt pellets at my kid and hope that he's through osmosis going to learn like about healthy eating. I also think that like repetition is everything, and like the battle is really won when you aren't around. So it's like, let's say your kid doesn't eat blueberries. I spent so long just being like, I don't understand. It's sweet. Like, what is wrong with a blueberry? But like, just presenting it over and over again, it's like eventually you will win. Like
Yeah.
these
I had to do
battles.
that with myself as an adult to like
Yeah.
teach myself how to eat healthier food.
I was at my kids' elementary school. I was the head of the healthy food initiative. I was so unpopular
She was
with the
the real
parents.
life bad mom's role.
Yeah, I was, and I
No,
didn't
I
even realize
believe
it.
you.
And like my whole thing was like, okay, look, you guys do whatever you want on your time, but if there's a birthday at the school, can you not, bring donuts and cake? I was
Yeah.
literally like not letting my child have a childhood, and I'd bring like frozen watermelon, and I would be like, it's God's candy, guys, and all the parents would just roll their eyes at me. So I totally get that. And now I have a kid who's like, Mom, can I get the truffle pasta? And I'm like, damn you, can't you just have like spaghetti with butter right now? Just why do you have to have the truffle pasta? What have I done?
What did I do? No, but it is crazy. Like my kids go to private schools in New York City, and I always think it's like, you're so woke and talking about all of these topics, but like you're feeding my kid like it's the 1980s. I don't understand. Where's the disconnect? I fought so long and hard, like, against like one of my kids' schools that it was, they had chocolate milk on tap. And I'm like, chocolate milk has been, I think, banned from schools in California since
Mm-hmm.
maybe the early aughts. So it's bizarre, but people
Yeah.
want to ply your kid with sugar. Like wherever you go, someone wants to give your kid sugar. You can't escape it. It's really
Yeah.
crazy.
I've
Yeah,
given up,
it
man.
is.
I've actually now given up. It's like a thing now.
Yeah.
She's like, she has
No,
her
I've
own
given up
Uber
now
Eats, and
too.
she's like, I just got a Nutella crepe from, she'll get it from like a really high end like French bakery in the
Right.
morning, and I'm like,
I've given up too, because I do think there is something to just like modeling the behavior. It's like,
Yeah.
there's no point in me trying to control what happens at school. Like, this school now, I can't send lunch. That's kind of why dictator lunches stopped. But I'm not even engaging with those people. I'm just like, they're gonna see the things that I value and like how I, eat at home, and hopefully they're gonna fucking try an eggplant one day.
Well, that's like parenting in a nutshell anyway, though, right? That's just like raising kids in general. Like we
Yeah.
can tell them all of the things
Right.
and we can show them all of the things, but ultimately they're really just going to watch us and what we're doing.
Yeah, they're just gonna watch us, and they like mimic everything else we do. So
yeah, I'm
they have
Sadie's
all of
now.
the other hangups.
I'm not saying Sadie always has truffles, but I'm saying like she now is like making her own decisions. Like she went
Yeah.
down and made avocado toast with a sunny side up egg with feta cheese on it, and like
Yeah.
she's like doing things on her own instead of eating a bag of like 7-Eleven Takis. Like I think we're moving
Yeah.
through
Yes,
this
you
like
have
rebellion
won.
of mom, like yeah. But I think that also our
Yeah.
control of that kind of comes from, I think, when we have talked about this on our show, having our eating disorders and body dysmorphia and things. I think our own control, but also health, like
Yeah.
having
The
cancer,
wellness
like
trap is like its own thing.
yeah. But this brings me to something we asked this question, speaking of our kids, that I always ask because I find it fascinating. I don't think that people get asked this question in interviews, is like, who was little Jenny, like 8-year-old Jenny? Like, if you look down in your mind right now, if you close your eyes and you look down, like, what shoes were you wearing? I want to know what shoes they were. I want to know what shows you were watching. I want to know what music was playing in the house, if any at all. How you felt in a group, all those little things of little 8 to 10, because that's like, I feel like some of the most important times in our life. So
Yeah.
who's that little girl?
I was wearing those like saltwater leather sandals, those little sandals.
Yeah.
I was living was probably living in San Diego at the time. Stevie Nicks was playing, Madonna was playing. My mom was probably drinking a Coors Light somewhere, getting ready to go on a date. I felt like very not understood. And I just like, I think I didn't feel good enough, because I felt like for whatever reason, I wasn't able to keep up with the other kids. I wasn't like, I'm looking at my math book and I'm not seeing what's happening. I had a lot of drive and ambition, but my skill set at that point like was lacking. And so I had a lot of shame that I think I carried around.
Do you
Where
think
do you
that
think that came
stemmed
from?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh my
Well, I
God.
think it was just from like having a learning disability, feeling not good enough, and then also having, I think when growing up with like parents in the 80s and growing up with like, parents that are, maybe focused more on themselves than you,
They were great.
you end up you end up having this like deficit, almost like, I don't know, it felt like it was hard to be seen. I'll put it that way. It was
Yeah.
hard to be seen. And I think that like when you have like, sort of like a parent with like narcissistic tendencies and you have a sibling, you end up, there's not enough to go around. And so you end up becoming like, you're almost triangulated, and then you think that if my sibling's not here, then maybe I'm finally going to be fed. I'm finally going to have the light on me. But it's like not true because, that person doesn't have the bandwidth. And so that took a while to kind of figure out and unravel. But I was exposed to a lot very young, like I was in bars a lot. I was like, just seeing things I shouldn't see, talk about like shows I was watching. I was watching everything on HBO from like Real Sex to,
Taxi Cab Confessions.
Taxi Cab Confessions. Yeah. Rocky Horror. Like it was,
I saw that when I was in 1975, literally saw it in 1975. I was like 4 when it like,
yeah, exactly.
And I was going to say like,
know,
why
right?
are the boomers like these boomers? I mean, I'm older than both of you by, I'm sure, quite a lot, but like our parents, like these boomers, they're all, God bless you, Mom. This so fucking narcissistic. Like it's crazy. And then we come and we're like trying to like fix everything almost to a point of obsession, right?
Oh,
In a
yeah,
way,
because you
like
realize early on, it's like, if I feed it, it'll feed me. And so you learn how to do that dance with the narcissist.
they're
So
fun.
when did you have an awareness of this? Was it when you wrote your first book, or were you already sort of in process of like understanding kind of the not good enough feelings and where they were stemming from? And in your writing process, I'm wondering if that helped you at all with any of this.
Well, I did love one woman show at UCLA that like was my first book, like basically like I guess even more absurd, even more extreme version of my first book, if that's possible. And it's like I played every person in my family, and then I made
Wow.
people come watch me, which is like psychotic. Now that I think about it, I'm
Wait, I
like, I
love that
cannot
so
believe
much.
the things that I said as my mom in front of my mom. I mean, it's truly like insane. But yeah, no. So I feel like I was always screaming, maybe even just like metaphorically screaming for like somebody to be for somebody to like realize like this is off. This is fucking off.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here. And it just like it took a while for me to like I guess find the right medium for that for that.
But your first book was such a huge success. First of all, was there like any like clue or inkling that it was going to be that? Can you talk about that? Because Christina and I are both in the middle of writing our memoirs, so to say, or our first
I love
books.
that.
And I'm
That's
I'm
exciting.
so interested in people's process and what that was like for you, and then I also would love to talk because you talked about how you had extreme success with your first book, and then one of your books was not as successful, and sort of dealing with that, not failure, but disappointment. Um,
Yeah.
Jamie. Sorry.
well, but she speaks so openly,
No, I know.
beautifully
I'm
about
sorry.
it. And it's
I don't
really,
know. I'm kidding.
like mine, like I'm writing mine now and thinking like I have hopes and dreams of like how it's going to land and what people are going to hear from it and what people are going to understand because I'm like pouring my heart and soul into this, but like
Yeah.
it might not fucking mean anything to anybody and I have to deal
Right.
with that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like it is all our own perception. I mean, my City of Likes, the novel that you're I think referring to, like it actually sold more copies than any of my other books. So like it technically did better, but for me, that was like an uphill battle that like I can't even explain to you. Like it was I have like PTSD from like that experience because it was just grueling and tested me in like so many other ways. And I think when I first wrote I Like You Just the Way I Am, the first book, I was just like young and dumb and there were no rules. It was a time when you could say anything and it didn't matter. You
Mm-hmm.
could get away with comedy was so different.
You weren't going to
Twitter
be
like
canceled.
democratized comedy for women. So it's like, you could go I was just like guns blazing, I'm like I'm going to just fucking swing for the fences and just be so outrageous. And and that book took off I think because there were so many like just like sensationalized kind of like crass stories in it and it was the kind of stuff that like Howard Stern would want to talk about, right? It was like that kind of book. My second memoir, like I think it's like more personal to me because it's about like my journey into like you know becoming a mom, and it's really like a love letter to my son. And then the third book was like my worst fears. And I think that people like saw it as, oh, this is like fun. This is a fun read. And I'm like, it's fucking dark as fuck. Like, what are you talking about? But I went with the reason like I think of it as like it just didn't do what I wanted it to do is because one, I couldn't sell the book. Like I went out trying to sell the book.
Even after having two very successful ones.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. And I was like, this is easy. I'm just going to do another book. And I took out the proposal and I had like I was sort of like negged into writing fiction by this very fancy agent who was like, do you want to tell me what you want to do next? Or do you want me to tell you what I think you should do? And I was like,
Oh.
I guess tell me what you think I should do. And he's like, I think you have a voice for fiction. And I think if you can write fiction, you can do anything.
Oh my God, that's so
So
scary, Jenny. You know what I don't
I
know why I just got anxiety about that.
no,
Like
I was
writing
scared. I was like, I
writing
don't
fiction.
fucking
I'm
know how to
like,
write fiction.
what?
So I left and I was like reeling. I'm just like, what is this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. My third book needs to be, this and that. And then I couldn't get him out of my head. And I'm like, okay, I think I know. I think I want to write like, I want to write like a satire on like, Instagram moms in lower Manhattan. I want to write like The Devil Wears Prada if like Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep had sex. Like I want to talk about like what's happening with like the people around me and like,
Mm-hmm.
the addiction to this device. And it was a time when like for me, I was just having a really hard time dealing with becoming a new mother. And like by sheer dint of having a child, suddenly I was like erected to this place of like, I'm an authority on motherhood. I should sell everything for you. Yeah, like diapers, like antiperspirants, whatever, like I'm some sort of fucking authority. And I just found like the world to be twisted and sort of dark. And so I set out to write the book and everybody passed on it. Then I pulled the submission. I rewrote the book. I took another year and I rewrote the book. And then I'm like, this is my hero's journey. Like, I want my kids to see that I had to suffer. Like, I was getting high off of the fact that like it didn't sell, like
Yeah.
as an actress, you guys know, like, that it's like, even like being told no sometimes it like engages something inside you. And you're like, okay,
Yep.
I'll fucking come at you again, So I was in that mode and I spent a year just like, I'm going to make this better. And then the pandemic hit. And then I got the feedback of like, I don't know if in like a post, pandemic Me Too world, if a book about influencers in Lower Manhattan doesn't read as tone deaf. And so then nobody wanted to buy it. So basically what I did was I backed into publishing it by selling it to a producer. And I sold it to Sony first, and then the book came out. And the book became a national bestseller. Like it did well. It was like the press was like amazing. I went so hard, like asking for favors and, all this shit. But the New York Times ignored it because I wasn't with like one of these big 6 publishing houses. And when I found out that I didn't make the Times list, it's like I should have known. But like when I was sitting on a plane to Arizona, I was in the middle of my press tour, and I can't tell you, like, I was just like, after 4 fucking years of like this book, I was like, you're kidding me. Like, I've done everything. I'm fucking blood for this thing. So like, it just didn't have the life that like, I wanted to turn around to my kids and be like, look, I fucking did it.
But you did. It's just, why do we, but did you have a reckoning about that quote unquote disappointment? Like why did it have to be the New York Times bestseller? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we get so attached to like a specific outcome.
Be everywhere, you know, like it was everywhere, nowhere, because this little publisher, it's like, it's not going to be in every bookstore. It didn't have the same, just like journey that my other books had. But something that I did find cool was I was just recently in South Korea, and I was able to get a copy of it in Korean, and that felt good. I was like,
that's so cool.
They never thought this should sell. They told me no. Like I'm still like on that. So that was like the journey with that book.
Yeah. Support comes from Honeylove. I am speaking to you right now wearing my Honeylove bra that I love so much. I love it so much, I almost forgot I had it on. Let's be honest, you guys, it's too hot for bulky, uncomfortable bras. This summer, you should be reaching for Honeylove's cutting-edge bra collection to stay cool, comfortable, and supported all season long. These bras, first of all, don't have underwire. We know and we've heard the studies about the damages of underwire. They are lightweight, they're breathable, and they're perfect for hot summer days. So whether you're rocking a t-shirt, a tank, a breezy sundress, their bras give you the right amount of lift without the squeeze, thanks to years of research, development, and testing. It is truly the ultimate bra experience. So say goodbye to those wires, guys. Get on board with comfort and support that you will love with Honeylove. For a limited time, you can get Honeylove on sale. So treat yourself to 20% off your entire order by heading to honeylove.com/messy. Please support the show and check them out because you deserve this glow up. You know, you talk about like pushing through, like sometimes to your own detriment. I have that gene. And like for me, I don't know, but like for me, it's manifested. I mean, yes, as an actress, but like even more like with my disease, because I'm like, I'm going to fucking beat it. I'm not going to let it take me down, and I'm going to
our disease, Jamie. You don't get ownership of this.
I didn't mean to. I'm just I'm not meaning to exclude you. But I just I think it's to my own detriment sometimes. I burn the fuck out. I get disconnected. I get in my own head. All of a sudden, my friendships are suffering and my marriage is suffering because I'm like so stuck in it. Have you found things that could help you through that? Like with that, how is Jason when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Wait, hold on. What I'm catching.
By the way, guys, she's married to Jason Biggs. That's all. I just want to, just so anyone, doesn't know. And I'm sure there are a lot of pies around their house. Sorry, I'll shut up now. You go answer important questions.
Jason, depends on what I'm catching Jason. Like Jason's can be so supportive. But Jason also has a weird like love-hate with attention and so and he's like you remember it's like what back in like I would say I don't know, like, around like 2010 to 2000, let's say like 18, it became scary. It was like a scary time to be sharing your opinion and being online. And Jason has experienced all sorts of like weird stuff around that. So I feel like he's like, "Oh, do we want to put that out there?" Cuz it's just like they'll spin it and then it's like not how you meant it and nothing drives me crazier than like being misunderstood. And so sometimes it's like it's not worth it. And he's like, why would you share that, It's of course going to come back and look like this whole thing. So it's been a dance. It's been a dance and yeah, I'm never sure if I'm making the right decision with that, to be honest.
But let me ask you this, because I think about, because I'm in my zone of telling it like it is, and I don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
And I really don't care what anyone thinks about me at all
Yeah.
anymore. And it's like a prison, if that we're kind of conditioned to think like, no, we have to fix it publicly so that the public has a certain image of you that is not who you are. Right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
then you got to fit into a box. So where can we, as not just, I mean, women, just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you think. This
Right.
is it,
Right.
man. Like, do you ever feel like fuck them? And well, obviously you do.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
I go crazy.
you're very open and honest. But that box they want to like put us in, or what we put ourselves in, to be like perfect all the way around. Oh, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I worded it that way,
No, no, no. I mean, trust me, like I
Yeah.
have posts like October 7th, like it was like crazy on my Instagram. So like, I mean, I go hard, but yeah, like if if I believe something, it's hard to shut me up. I don't know how to stop myself. And Jason was like in Canada, like when all of that stuff started happening with Israel and the hostages, and this is like when like the kids were still there, and he kept saying like, Jenny, stop posting so much, like stop posting so much. You're a target. You're walking around New York City. You're not I'm friends with Chelsea Handler, and he's like, you're not Chelsea. Chelsea lives in LA and she has bodyguards. And I'm like, Chelsea doesn't have a fucking bodyguard. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm like, I'm fine, Jason. I said, but like, I was operating from, I have an account that like is heavily rooted in like motherhood. And I'm not going to fucking not talk about like someone walking into someone's house and taking their kids. Sorry. So I'm going off, and then like I'll never forget it. Like, I saw Chelsea maybe like a week or two later, and she's like, I'll meet you downstairs at my apartment. And I come downstairs, there's this like giant guy there. I'm like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Chelsea's bodyguard.
That's really funny.
Right. I'm like, but no, yeah, like I mean, in terms of like, yeah, putting my neck out there, I have a hard time shutting my mouth sometimes.
So, and
But
you know
that's
what? Then
we love
everyone
about you.
Yeah, sorry. It's just people get
No.
so angry about it, and like here we are in like Los Angeles, and we're dealing with this situation here with the ICE and
Oh, yeah,
what they're
another
terrorizing
situation,
our
obviously.
city.
Yeah.
And I do get afraid to say something about it because it's so politically charged, and it's like this country is so divided and divisive and with the opinions. And
Yeah.
I get afraid to say something about it. But just yesterday they raided a park with kids playing soccer
Insane.
with their
No, it's
rifles, and it's like what are I can't.
it's insane.
Sorry, I'll go cuckoo. And this is your interview. It's not about me being
No,
mad.
but like Christina, that's such a good point, because I feel like if you haven't lived in LA, even if when I talk to people here, they don't understand. In LA, it's like everyone, like everyone knows somebody that's going to be affected by this. It's not so like under the radar. Like
It's called Los Angeles.
Exactly.
It is
And there are
Spanish
immigrants
for
everywhere.
the angels.
Everywhere.
Hello.
It's not even a thing. And it is weird being in New York because I do think that, at least like in certain like circles that I find myself in, people think it's this like crazy foreign thing that doesn't affect their lives. And I'm like, guys, you understand this is like people that work intimately with you, people who are like, it's everywhere. To walk in and start just like nabbing people, I mean, it's going to be us next.
But I think, Jenny, you feel the calling to say these things because they ring true and they're authentic to who you are, and you are a voice for so many people that either don't have the courage to speak up, don't have the platform to speak up. Like, if you're going to be open and honest about plastic surgery and body image and kids' lunches, like, yes, then be honest with me about October 7th and ICE. Like, you are the person, you have to, I'm sure as Jason and all the people in your life have told you, like, you've got to tune out that noise and stick with your conviction because you have a moral compass that's a line that you are confident in, right? And that you know the difference of right and
you
wrong.
have boys. Like, you have boys. Yeah. Like, we're good with girls. I have a girl. Like, we good. I'm raising an awesome chick. You got boys, and they're going to be running this place. And the change in this world is going to come from these boys growing up. I mean, sad to say that, but that's kind of the deal, So how is that for you?
It's true.
Looking at your boys going, okay, sad but true, you are probably going to be in positions of power in this world. And you can't, what you're watching out here is not the way to behave.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it is tricky, like having a boy, because you're empowering and also disempowering them at the same time. It's like the mixed messages that like we give boys where it's like, I want you to stand up for yourself, but not so much that you come off as a dick. I want you to make sure that like you treat a woman as your equal, but do not walk out of an elevator in front of her. You know what I mean? It's just like this. Like,
you're so right.
God.
Being a boy is fucking crazy. Like navigating that shit, it's wild.
Yeah, I'm a mom of 2 boys too, and I think I do my part, but I talk to my husband all the time about like they're going to follow your lead. So however you treat me is how they're going to see how to treat a woman. And I'm very fortunate that my husband by the way, I taught my kids about my period about a month ago cuz I raged on them. I was a dick. And then I came back in and I was like, to my older one, who's almost 12, I was like, listen, Bo, I told you once about like, there's a time of the month where like a woman gets her period and like, sometimes it can like make you a little edgy, like put you in a bad mood. And he was like, well, Mom, like, what am I supposed to do around this time? I was like, honestly, like, don't look at me unless I ask you to. And don't.
I was gonna say, what's a period? I haven't had a period since 2017. So I'm like, what's that again? Sorry. Oh, you're just bleeding from.
This is a life
bleeding from all your holes.
Him. Like, this is like because this is what my husband does. Like, he just knows. Like, this is you give me the free passes. You just got to deal with it. You just got to ride the wave.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel a great responsibility in raising 2 young men for sure.
Yes.
And I welcome it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited that I could, hopefully put 2 good boys out there.
No, I always say that. I'm like, oh my God, like these kids, like I'm so psyched for somebody needs to thank me one day.
They better.
I mean, well, but my oldest specifically is like so needy. Like he's going to be that guy that's like all over you, calling you, like, he's like, are we okay? Is everything good? How are you feeling today? And then my youngest is probably the one who's ghosting you. So I have
the same. I wonder if that's like a older, younger thing. Like my older one, he's had like 5 girls break up with him this year because he like love bombs them.
Yeah, love bombs, exactly.
He's like, you're the greatest girl I've ever met. You're so pretty. You're amazing. And I was like, Bo, these bitches are about to like compare notes. You need to like
totally
change your game. And Jack, like, my little one is, like, so cute. Like, my friends all tell me, like, Jamie, he's gonna be, like, the hottest guy in school. But, like, he has no idea anything's going on. He's gonna be,
Right.
like he's totally different. And my older one is like me, like me, like me. Who likes me? Great. You wanna get married? Like,
My
they're
God,
so
that's so
opposite.
funny.
Guys,
Yeah, I'm like,
we
"Whoa,
gotta
your
raise
cousin's
like
too
the
strong."
middle, like somewhere in the
I know, I'm
middle, right?
trying.
It's
Uh-huh, but it's the
like
problem
being
because I'm
someone
always like,
out there
"You're
in the
amazing."
world,
Gorgeous.
a little bit of both, guys, a little bit of both,
I know.
but not
I
the
know.
whole
It's
thing.
true, it's true.
Well, speaking of, like, raising kids, you spoke, Jenny, in one of your podcast episodes about, like, the fear and that feeling of, like, not being in control of everything. And, like,
Yeah,
I know that so well from childhood and, like, my early teen years when I first developed an eating disorder. Like, it wasn't necessarily about size, but it was, like, about control. And then it's manifested in so many different ways
totally.
in my life. And, like, it can transition into, like you talked about, like, not feeling as put together as everybody else. And I'm just really grateful to you of being somebody that's been so vocal about this, because the truth is nobody has it figured out and everybody feels out of control.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. No, I know it's I don't I feel like I'm constantly trying to like find control and it's just constantly evading me. Every time I think I figured it out. Even like, I was talking recently about like these GLP-1s where I feel like it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, is this the elixir? Like, is this gonna like you mean I'm never gonna have that food noise again? I'm never gonna have to like be a prisoner to like that voice. And whether or not, I mean, look, the voice changes over the years. It's like at first it was like, I want to be, on the WB skinny, and then it was like, I want to have no inflammation in my body and I want to be the
Yeah.
most fit I can. So it's like, you'll take yourself back into it.
Yeah, as being an anorexic, that bullshit health shit that we tell ourselves is
Yeah,
anorexia as well, as we know. Like,
exactly.
it's us going, yeah, it's really about like, I just want to have kale. No, you want to have kale because there's no calories, and then you get it's like
Right.
it's a crazy. I call her Anna, and when she gets loud, because here I am,
Yeah.
53 years old. She was quiet for a long time, and she gets loud sometimes, and I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, you've got to stop with the cuckoo.
Yeah.
And but it's like one thing that people don't understand is that Anna's always in the back there telling us a
Yeah.
bunch of lies and a bunch of bullshit about value. And and
Right.
control. And like control,
Yeah.
man. Like if the
And
world
she'll
outside of us is
shift
so
the
out of
narrative
control, yeah, then
to
what
make
I'm
it
doing
make
here is
sense.
like I'm gonna put salt or sugar on top of my food so I don't eat it. That's your control, right? So
Right.
that's really
No,
what
but
it
so that's the
is.
thing. So like, experimenting with these peptides and these GLP-1s, it's like I felt like I was living in somebody else's body. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm normal. I'm modeling different behavior. Like I have a life I never had." But at what cost?
But
So
what made you start it?
I started it because I was like, my cholesterol was crazy, and I was like, I'm gonna like. I started a bunch of peptides, to be honest. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, because I'm in that wellness scene, where I'm
Yes.
like, I'll try anything, and it made my blood work look pretty good. And I was like stunned. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm eating a piece of pizza. I cannot believe I'm sitting here eating a piece of pizza and I'm going to bed and I'm waking up the next morning and I never thought about it and I didn't throw it was like the movie Awakenings for a minute where I was like, I'm free. But I kept thinking, I'm like, when's the other shoe gonna fall? Because like I don't feel like anything in life can be free. And then I started to notice, like, for me personally, like I was like, oh my God, like it's dulling me. It's like I'm
How long were you on it before you started to notice that?
no, I noticed instantly. I was like
Oh,
crying at the drop of
really?
a hat. I was like, whoa, I'm so emotional. Like suddenly I'm just like crying. And I feel like nobody's talking about it, guys.
No,
Nobody's
please.
talking
Thank
about
you.
what
Talk about it.
I feel like these drugs, it is gonna come out. These drugs are like binding to like neurotransmitters in our brain. They're changing the way, not just like we, you know, think about food, but the way like we think about life. Like I am watching people just become like so detached. It's just like it scares me. So
I think that any quick fix of anything, as far
Mhm.
as medicine is concerned, is fucking scary to me. You know, like
Yeah.
something new like this, right? To me, anything less than 10 years or even 15 years is new. And I think that I always feel like I'm like, guys, we're going to find out. Like, you're taking like
Right.
the
Yeah.
easy
When
way
are we gonna
around
find
this.
Well, remember
You're gonna
Fen
find
Fen
out
back
some
in the day?
shit.
Like,
Or like the
Yeah.
fat suck thing, the fat melting like thingy-majigger, and then the model who got all the
Oh,
edema all
right.
over her body. What's her
oh,
name?
that's
Linda
right.
Evangelista. Like she
Right.
can't go anywhere because, and I knew when that started, I was like, guys, we're gonna find something about that. And I don't want to put it down because I'm not a doctor and we are not
No,
in
but it's such
that
a
world.
slippery
But it's like,
slope. Like my GP, I went into my GP's office like 3 or 4 months ago to talk about peptides like BPC 157. I'm like, I want to help my gut. I want to help inflammation. And like
Right. And then you're not
immediately she was
sleeping.
like, no, trizepatide. Trizepatide is like, it's what you need. And I'm like, but I don't want to lose weight. And it's just what they're throwing at these people and especially for me, I'm like, I have like a very sensitive body. Like I can't fuck around with like things and gamble with how I'm going to feel. And I read your Substack and it was terrifying what happened to you.
mhm,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awful,
I
girl.
know. And now I have to go have like a fucking DNC next week because like I
Because
guess
all the tissues
they're
and the linings and shit.
yeah,
Is
the
that-
lining. Exactly.
Support for Messy comes from Mudwater. Mudwater is probably my most favorite coffee alternative I have ever found. I get the jitters from coffee. I kind of don't feel great after I drink it. And Mudwater's OG blend, that's a mix of cacao, chai, turmeric, and adaptogenic mushrooms, helps you feel focused without the crash. I personally like mine over ice. I just mix it with cold water or milk. I shake it up, pour it over ice, and boom, I literally have the most refreshing feel-good boost that, by the way, actually is helping me stay balanced because every single ingredient in Mudwater's products are 100% USDA certified organic. They're non-GMO, they're gluten-free, they're vegan, they're kosher. There's also zero sugar and no sweeteners added. Like I said, the best part about Mudwater is it provides sustained energy without the spikes and crashes of traditional coffee. And they also have caffeine-free blends available. Each ingredient in Mudwater also serves a purpose, okay? So the cacao and the chai are for a hint of caffeine and like a hot chocolatey-like flavor. They have lion's mane in there for focus, cordyceps to promote natural energy, and both chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. So are you ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Head to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners will get an exclusive deal up to 43% off your entire order plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use code MESSY. That's right, up to 43% off with code MESSY at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, they'll ask how you found them. Please show your support and let them know we sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy. Support for Messy comes from Every Plate. You know, I am so happy to debunk this for you right now. Do you think you have to spend a ton of money or a ton of time in the kitchen to have delicious food in your home? Well, you can think again, because when you use Every Plate, you are literally getting restaurant level deliciousness week after week with a personal favorite recipe of mine, the crispy buffalo ranch chicken or their cheesy Mexican street corn hash. I mean, we're talking about, again, restaurant level meals made in your home. And you're going to spend less on these flavor packed homemade meals than you would on your normal groceries or at a restaurant.
I find myself just like cooking the same things over and over again, but I want to up my dinner game. And in 30 minutes or less, with Every Plate's clear, easy to follow recipes, I am doing that. And thankfully, Every Plate constantly rotates their weekly recipes. So you're not having to like scour through Instagram or your cookbooks to what to make. They are giving you the options and inspiring you week after week. So what are you waiting for? I want you to dig into these flavor-packed meals that your household, I promise you, because I've got picky eaters here, will love. New customers can enjoy this special offer of only $1.99 a meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and use code MESSY199 to get started. Applied as discount on first box, limited time only.
So can you tell our listeners and tell us like maybe in a little more detail what happened to you?
Yeah, and I still don't even understand like why it happened, but basically I had this crazy period where all of a sudden, so I skipped my period for a month, which hadn't happened to me. That had only happened to me one other time, like 2 years ago, and I forget why, if I had tried a new medication or whatever that was about. But my period was gone for a month, and then all of a sudden I stopped the trizepatide on a Saturday because I was going to do like I don't know, like I had like a colonoscopy, whatever. I forget. Like I went back in.
Yeah, you can't have something that would make you bleedy when you're having a
Right.
colonoscopy for our listeners to understand why.
Right. So stop the trizepatide. I go, it's like 3 days, and all of a sudden I'm getting the most insane period like of my life, guys. I was like in the bathroom. No, I was in the kitchen like this, and I'm like, oh God. And I felt like I was a chicken laying an egg.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
ran to the bathroom to see like what just came out of me. And I'm looking, and it is literally the size of a baseball, this blood clot. And I'm now screaming, oh my God. Like, and I don't know, I don't know what it is, because I'm not, I'm like, I knew I wasn't having a miscarriage. And Jason comes running in, and he's now screaming. Cause like, that's the funny thing about Jason and I, like, he's like, as much as he's
Is he
like,
not chill in those
no,
situations?
guys, he's the most neurotic. He's like, Jason, yeah, no, he's like spinning out of control. So Jason's like about to faint. And we're like looking at it, and I'm calling my doctor, I'm calling my OB, and he's just like, okay, you're like having blood clots. I'm going to call you in some progesterone, and you're going to do an IV drip at home. So now I'm like, okay, fine. It is what it is. I'm doing the IV drip. I take the progesterone around 6 p.m. that night, and at around 11. By the way, my son's leaving for fucking sleepaway camp, first time in his life, the next morning. I get out of my son's bed, creep out of his bed at like 11 at night. I go into my bedroom, and I'm looking at Jason. I'm just like, I think I've lost too much blood. And Jason's like, no, you're fine.
Wait, you think you had a chicken egg coming out of your vagina? Yeah, you
every
think?
15 minutes
No.
since like that was like 1 or 2 p.m. And he's like, I'm sure your body regenerates. And so he's like walking me to the bathroom because I'm going to wear a diaper to sleep in, I've decided, because I'm just like bleeding so much, hemorrhaging everywhere. I go to the bathroom, and Jason's like, okay, let me help you. And I'm just like, Jason, I'm fainting. I'm fainting. I'm fainting. And I've had like these vasovagal in the past at different times in my life. So I kind of like knew what was happening. I'm like, I just let me fall to the ground. Like, let me fall. I feel like I'm going to throw up, feel like I'm going to have diarrhea. Like I'm hot, it's this like, you like, you kind of pass out and you come back, and he's like, oh my God, Jenny. So he's calling my OBGYN. And
what time of night you said it was 11 o'clock at night?
11 o'clock. And then he's like, okay, I need to take you to Lenox Hill. Like, I need to get you in a car. And by the way, we have 2 kids sleeping at home. One who's leaving for sleepapaway camp in the morning.
For the first time.
Who would like lose his shit if he saw me like bleeding out. And we have a neighbor come downstairs, and Jason's trying to get me to the front door, and I pass out again. I'm like, I can't. So now we have to call a fucking ambulance. And Jason the whole time is like, oh, my kids are about to wake up. Like, my dog's going crazy. Like, it was poor Jason. He was just like, my wife is like unconscious on the floor. So like, yeah, they came up, they put me in a chair because they couldn't bring a gurney up to my unit. And I'm like going past my doorman, and I'm just like, goodbye. Like it looked like I was being taken away to the funny farm. And then I was in the ER all night long. The progesterone starts working when I get to the hospital. So when they're looking, they're like, there's no blood here. So then it was just like pumping me full of fluids, and they did like all these tests, and I had lost 1/4 of my blood in my body. And they switched me to Lenox Uptown from downtown. And then I get home, guys. I literally walk in my fucking door at like 6:30 a.m. And I look down the hall, and my son is like this coming out of his bedroom. And I literally ripped my bracelet, my hospital bracelet off my arm. And I'm like, good morning, as if I'd fucking just woken up too. So he had no idea. Took him to the bus, put him on the bus to camp. I'm waving goodbye. Bye. He had no idea it ever happened. Thank God.
Thank
Meanwhile,
God.
Jason, like that night, had texted my nanny, and he's like, I'm at the hospital. Jenny's lost 1/4 of her blood. You may need to bring Sid by the hospital to say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Oh, jeez.
Jason.
As if he could have just gone to
Say
camp.
goodbye. Like, give some fucking context. She's like, you scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, like very fatalistic, but yes, goodbye for camp.
Right? Like, say goodbye what? For camp or like
Not
life?
bye to
Like,
mommy.
what are you
So I'm
saying?
assuming you stopped the GLP-1 after this.
Yeah, no, and
then was there
yes,
like a detox that happened? Like what happens when you stop something like that?
So nothing has happened so far. I mean, I think it's out of your system within like 5 weeks. So like I'm on week 4. But I can just tell my mood is different. I mean, like, guys, I was crying at the drop of a hat. I'm like, I must be perimenopausal. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And like the anxiety was so high. And then, it's like some people in my life, my father included, is just like, but Jenny, like, the kind of freedom you're talking about, like from food and the noise, like that, maybe it's worth it for you. Maybe this drug is helping you. Maybe it's okay to be a little bit more vulnerable. And so then I'm like, oh my God, he's in on it too. Like the world wants me to be on this fucking drug. But I'm just scared, guys. Like I don't know. And I can't, like, I don't want to be on this, like out here saying it was definitely the GLP. But it is like a fucking weird coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also, I have a friend that lives in LA.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
No, but I have a friend that lives in LA that was telling me, she's like, Jamie, Hollywood has always been really triggering, right? You're just seeing literally the most beautiful people in the world and that have access to the people and the trainers and the things that make them that beautiful. But now it's like everywhere you look, like everyone is so skinny and like it's very confusing. It's very triggering for a lot of people. It's very confusing. And I think it's being presented in like all the health benefits, like my entire algorithm, like every other post that I look, people I don't follow even, it's just kind of like, this will change the game. If you have an autoimmune disease, this will help cure it.
Yes, exactly.
You're like, what do I do? It's very scary.
I was going to say, like, guys, like, first of all, when I was younger and, had to wear a mini skirt on television for 11 years, I never compared I never compared myself to anyone else because it just wasn't the thing. Like no one was like that. It was my own demons that started as a kid.
Of course.
That started my eating disorders. But I was also going to say, hey guys, don't take these drugs. Just get gastroparesis. So it's a bad joke between me and Jamie. It's what I have, which makes me throw up because my stomach doesn't like things like food.
Your stomach doesn't like food.
No.
It doesn't like food.
Which is also a nightmare.
You know what it loves? Instant mashed potatoes with sauteed spinach. I'm just going to tell you guys. I'm fine.
Oh my God.
You want to go on that diet? You can join me.
The sauteed spinach. I like that. I like that addition.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to have something in there.
Something green, something healthy. I mean, everything has a price and it's just, but our health more than anything is just not something to gamble with because I feel like you are like the every woman on the street that's like at the forefront of, you're like our guinea pig of like trying everything. Like what wellness wise have you found that like is good, if anything, lately?
I mean, I love a hot sauna. I love like a heat. I just like love heat. I'm also from the desert, so
right.
That could be
You're
why.
bred for it.
Right, but I love to sweat. I think that like that's something that for whatever reason, like just sort of grounds me. So I'm into the saunas. I'm into, I don't know. I'm not good with any kind of supplements, to be honest. I feel like I buy all the supplements and then they just like sit in my
Same.
kitchen and stare at me. I'm not that good with like anything that I have to like do every day. And then just moving, just like constantly moving. My dad's 80 years old and he's still like doing 10Ks and he's out
Yeah.
there still like killing it. So, it's like, I think just, I was indoctrinated young. Like, it's just, you got to keep moving.
You literally just said the opposite of what Jamie and I can do.
We
To
can't do
move.
heat.
Sorry.
We can't do
You
heat.
guys can't do heat
No.
at all.
It
Cold?
literally
Moving.
we can move, but
Well, what about
Certain
cold?
supplements might fuck us
cold.
up too.
Cold, I love.
Cold.
I love a
Cryo,
good
you
cold
do?
plunge. Cold plunge.
Extremes are bad for me. But
Okay.
But it was just funny. You were like talking about these great things, and I'm like, wah, wah, just in my
Oh,
own
no.
brain. Like,
Oh, that's so you can't do heat, but you can do cold.
Well, she can. A lot of people can't do either extreme, but for me, cold, my body just loves. Like
Loves
it affects everybody differently, right? And we
Yeah.
all have different chemistry, whether we both have MS or not.
Right.
And
Right.
it's just it's one of the more, I think, frustrating parts about living with something like this is there's not like a one size fits all remedy for anything.
Right.
Like you kind of have to go through your trials and figure out like
What works for you.
and that can change too, and that can evolve.
Yeah.
And it's a crash course in acceptance constantly, which is hard for anybody,
Yes.
degenerative disease or not, like in life. It's just
Yeah.
But I think that it's really forced me. It's been the catalyst for me of just like really learning how to accept everything in my life. Like I can sit here and be like, well, 6 years ago, I could definitely walk further and I didn't need a wheelchair in the airport. But like, what good is that of me like living in that narrative, that voice? Like I'm still where I'm at today. And I think
Right.
that that's where I can find the gift in it, because
Yes.
I don't know what else I would have had in my life maybe that would have given me that perspective.
Totally. Yes, I know. And so has it changed your writing? I mean, you're doing a memoir right now. Like what did you know going in, like exactly like what that story was going to look like?
No. So like for me, I've had, it's so weird. I've had like multiple psychics, like that I used to go to like psychics all the time in like my 20s, and
Yeah.
like different friends. I would always just be like, Jamie, you should write a book. Jamie, you should write a book. And I used to be like, no, why? Like, I don't want to like talk about me and living with MS. Like, who's going to give a fuck? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And
Yeah,
right
yeah.
after Messy came out,
Uh-huh.
the literary agent at my agency called and he was like, do you think you want to write a book? And it was a whole body, yeah. Like it was so weird. I was so against
That was
it. And now it
cool.
was, yeah. And I think more than anything, this process for me is like witnessing my life and witnessing my evolution and witnessing the change and validating experiences, but also allowing me to forgive myself for decisions I've made, and seeing I've had these little moments where like I don't want to give anything away, but like I chose not to tell anybody about my MS, specifically
Yeah.
any of my employers when I was on Sopranos. And then I had
Yeah.
this full circle moment 22 years later where I had a conversation with the creator about my MS, and like the way he reacted, I was like, oh my God, if I just 20 years ago was just open and honest and vulnerable, my entire life could have been different. But like we don't give ourselves those opportunities. So it's been a very healing process for me, to the point where I'm really trying to release any expectation of whatever happens when the book comes out, because this process is ultimately for me, and whatever happens after it is out of my control.
It has to be, my girl, because mine's not about MS at all. But at some point, you and I both were like, we got to vomit this shit out, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
because
No,
too
guys,
long
like holding
keeping
it
it.
in your hands, it's gonna feel so doesn't matter. It's like having it like acting is so ephemeral and it's like it's never fully you. When you hold that book in your hands, I'm telling you, there's just something about it that is so rewarding and just like having your art like in your hands, like concrete, it is the best fucking feeling.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you. What's next for you, Jenny? Like what is as a writer, as a creator, like what is on the horizon for you, or what are you wanting to do? What do you want to put out there, and we can give you the collective support here in this messy universe to support it?
I love it. I have 2 Substacks. I write one with Diablo Cody where we go back and forth and ask each other personal questions.
That's cool.
She's so cool. Oh my God, she's like my favorite, and I don't know her, and I want to meet her, and I want us to snuggle and watch TV together. You don't understand.
Okay, I love it.
Just
I can
tell her that,
definitely
please. Thank you.
introduce you guys. Yeah, so we have that Substack together, and then I have another Substack called The Best Friend Experience, where it's sort of like, like these like deep dives into like, now I'm, in Korea and I'm doing all of these weird procedures in Korea and learning about like, kilns and shit that people sit in Korea. We, it goes into like fashion and wellness and food and, it's like a lot of personal essays. I mean, at the end of the day, I like to tell stories. So
Yeah.
it's always about just, I guess, a hero's journey, whether whoever's it is. And so like, I always kind of come back to the same kind of themes, I think, of just trying to be better.
I'm excited to
I love
follow
that.
you. Gosh darn it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish I could just do
Oh
it
no,
right now.
I'm scared
Well,
now.
No. I'm what they call a Sagittarius terrorist. Someone said that on Love Island the other day. They're like, "Oh no, not a Sagittarius." But the thing about being a Sagittarius is that we want something right now. So like we're talking to you and I'm trying to follow you and I need to keep putting my phone down like, fuck you, Christina, you're doing an interview. But I'm like, no, it has to happen now. If I don't do it right now, then I'm going to lose out on it.
As soon as we hang up, Christina, you're going to love it. You're just going to scroll through all our shit and you're going to love it. Wait, Jenny, help me out. I feel like everybody's getting a facelift to the point where I'm like, am I late? Like I'm 44. Have I missed the window? But I have this like, when you've got like, I'm starting to get like, just like that little loosey-goosey here.
Yeah,
and
the
I'm
neck
like,
thing, yes.
can somebody just snip that without me having to do a whole fucking thing?
Yeah, they can. You'll have like a little scar here, but you can do that.
Okay.
But what they'll probably suggest to you is like going right here and just doing like a lower.
But that's a whole thing. And they ain't cheap now. They're so expensive.
But honestly, this is the thing. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Like when you look back in 5 years at a picture of yourself,
I know.
Like now you're going to be like, I was killing it. Why did I
know.
think that?
We all do that. I think in my mind, I still look like that. I'll get up to go to the bathroom, wash my hands, and I'm like, what a hag. Like 10 minutes ago, I was like, I'm like the, 30-year-old kind of hot chick with this body. Now I'm like this like emaciated, weird old person. And I'm like, what is happening? Okay, wait, I have to tell you guys this because this is just girl talk now. I was watching this movie. It was some kind of camp movie. It's like, I don't know. Older people were in it. Oh, no. It was Big Fat Greek Wedding like 5 or something. And
okay.
And all of them, like Lainey Kazan, and every time they would take a picture, they'd say, hold my neck. So they'd take a picture
hold my neck.
and they'd stand next to the other person, right? And pull it up. So in the picture,
I'm into that.
They're holding next to each other and they all hold each other's necks up so that they have no neck. That's my Greek accent.
So funny.
Wow.
I'm into that
like,
idea.
That's brilliant.
I'm going to start asking Cutter, my husband, to just hold my neck.
But you have to do it with a Greek accent.
Yeah.
Hold my neck.
Hold my neck.
Hold my neck.
Hold my neck.
I love it. Well, Jenny, Christina has this she doesn't like when I pump it up, but it's always awesome. She has this really cool party trick.
Okay.
That we do with all our guests, where we're going to ask you to tell us 5 of your favorite movies. Like, don't think too hard about it. Just think like 5 ones that you love that you can watch anytime they were on television that make you feel good from your childhood, whenever. Just say them out loud, and she's going to tell you some things about yourself from that.
Okay. Don't think about them. Just go.
Okay. The Burbs. Shaun of the Dead, Kill Bill 2, Hillary and Jackie, Goonies, and I'm gonna go with, oh my God,
What's one you watched over and over again as a kid?
Can't judge it. Can't judge it to yourself.
Bernie's.
Jesus.
I wore out my VHS of Weekend at Bernie's as a kid.
I loved that movie.
I loved it
I
so
still
much.
want to redo that movie.
Okay, you guys
Oh
have
my
to give me a couple
God.
minutes because I'm a
Maybe-
little confused
okay.
by this one.
Okay. Ooh,
I'm gonna lay
this is
back
good. I
and-
like that.
I'm laying back.
Maybe you should write it. Have you thought about writing more like
I wrote a zombie movie actually.
you
last
did?
month. Yeah. That I have that I'm we're like putting together right now. So and that was so fun. And that was like about like a mom and her kids in Manhattan. It was this idea of like it doesn't take a village, it just takes a mom.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that
I
was
love
really
that.
fun. And that's like totally, I was like, I want to write the movie that I want to see. And that's the movie I want to see.
Goonies was on my top 5 as well when I did this with her.
Isn't it such a good movie?
Yeah, and it just made like I mean, I feel like we're around the same age, so it was a movie for me that I would watch, and I'm like, I wanted to jump in the screen. I'm like, I want to be a part of something. Like, I want to be a Goonie.
Totally.
I'm ready, so don't talk.
Oh, she's ready. Okay.
I don't feel you've ever felt like you could really depend on someone the way that you want to depend on them at all. Like a partner and meeting you in the same place because your themes are about partnership, solving issues. And you really want someone to meet you where you are in life, whether it be your husband or whomever, your mom, but they don't know how to solve things the way that you know how to solve them, and it frustrates you. And so you've been searching, I think, for a partner that you could trust implicitly. And I think you don't feel exactly that way completely.
Interesting.
It's your movies, not mine.
Oh, whoa.
Isn't it wild?
That's wild. Yeah.
I don't know if that's right, but that's what I got.
Interesting.
Of like why we are attracted to the movies that we are and like the themes of them.
Right. What do we want? What do we want? What do we deeply want? Yeah.
I feel like what you just gave me was like true people, like literally holding a dead person up, like literally solving problems together at the same level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's kind of, it's pretty literal.
Well, you know what? Hence your zombie movie of a mom being like, I don't need any fucking buddy. I can fight these zombies and protect my kids. It's what you know. It's who you are.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, that's crazy.
Wild talent,
That's
huh?
crazy. Yeah, that's a cool trick.
I made
Jenny,
it up.
I could talk to you for hours.
Oh, you're
like,
so
you're
sweet.
like
we really
everyone wishes they were your best friend. I know it.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
You're just, and thank you. Please don't stop speaking your truth and speaking up for what's right and defending the innocent. And you're setting such an example for your kids and other women. And we just really appreciate you over here.
Oh my God, you're so nice, guys.
Can you mention all the names of your books, please, for our listeners?
Yep.
Like, yeah, go.
So I Like You Just the Way I Am, Live Fast, Die Hot, City of Likes, and Dictator Lunches.
And she showed you her 2 Substacks. Will you say the names of them again?
Yeah, one's called Can I Ask You a Personal Question? And one is called The Best Friend Experience with Jenny Mollen.
And the other one is with my best friend
with your best friend, Diablo. Mm-hmm.
Diablo Cody.
No, that's called Can I Ask You a Personal Question?
Okay, that one's, you're going to have me, you're going to come here with her and we're going to just hang out.
Yes, definitely. She's in LA.
Why am I weird? I am very weird.
You're not. I love it.
I get super obsessive with people and that's one of them. Sorry. Anyway, but I'm obsessed with you. I didn't know much about, I'm following you.
I knew you'd love her.
In a minute.
I knew it.
I'm very
excited. And I pick a card and read it at the end of each episode. It's just from this random little deck. They always have just these inspirational quotes, heartbreaking ones. And at the end of it, we say our favorite affirmation. We both have it tattooed on us. It says, and so it is. meaning that it's the truth. So here we go. I haven't a clue as to how my story will end, but that's all right. When you set out on a journey and night covers the road, you don't conclude that the road has vanished. And how else could you discover the stars?
Oh, I love that.
Holy
Me
shit, that's like
too.
exactly. Oh my God, that's kind of
Yeah,
what we've been
we
talking
just-
about, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you have to trust the path before you.
You got to trust the
You're-
pack.
You got to
Yeah.
trust it, even in the
I love
darkness. It
it.
has not disappeared. I love that one too. That was a good one. I'm going to keep
That's a
this one
good
aside
one.
and frame that one.
And
Yeah.
so it is.
And
kids.
so it
So it
is.
is.
This show is executive produced by Christina Applegate, Jamie-Lynn Sigler, and Allison Bresnick. Our audio engineer is Josh Windisch.
And if you want to show us some love, don't forget to leave the show a rating or review. Hi, it's Jamie. Thanks for listening. I just want to let you know I am a paid spokesperson for Novartis, but this podcast is independent from my collaboration with Novartis.